Hinduism is a major Indian religion with roots that date back to ancient civilizations. Beginning in the Indus River Valley region about 5,000 years ago, many ancient traditions and customs combined to establish the Hindu traditions. Hinduism is often referred to as the Sanatana Dharma, which means the eternal way. Therefore, the Hindus believe there is no beginning or end of their religion. Without an identifiable beginning, Hinduism ultimately lacks a founder and origins are largely undetermined. Although the religion contains many unknowns, Hindus do recognize one god, Brahman, as their creator of the universe, and he is depicted as a four-handed deity. Their beliefs and traditions are still preserved and followed in modern-day India with over 1.2 billion followers. This ranks Hinduism as the third largest religion in the world. Of all the preserved traditions, this essay examines Hinduism's caste system and how it affects the Hindu followers. The caste system highlights the function and individual contribution of the Hindu people within the Indian society. In the Hindu's Book of Law, the Manusmriti, the hierarchy system is outlined to serve as a type of order to dictate the society by categorizing the population into 4 different castes. These castes may determine the individual's career, location of their home, marriage, and even the water they are allowed to drink. An individual does not choose their caste or marry into a caste, but they are rather born into it based on the Hindus' law of karma and reincarnation. They believe that if the individual strictly follows and obeys the rules to live a life of good conduct and morality, then they would be reborn into a higher caste in their next life. On the other hand, they believed if the individual did not strictly obey and adhere to the duties of their present-day caste, they would be reborn into a lower caste in their next life. The Hindus' law of karma ultimately affects the individual's reincarnated birth into an assigned a caste by basing it on what the individual deserves in regards to the behavior of their past life. This belief encouraged Hindus to work hard to be reborn into the highest caste of society in their next life. The highest and most esteemed caste of the Hindu society, placed at the top of the pyramid, is the Brahmin Cast. To denote how respected the members of this caste are considered to be, the term Brahmin directly translates to Supreme Self. The people within this category prove they accomplished good deeds and upheld good conduct in their past life to become a part of this caste. Ancient mythology that outlines the origins of the Brahmin caste is located in the Hindu sacred scripture, the Rig Veda. The Rig Veda explains how the Brahmin caste originated from the Brahma's mouth after he was sacrificed by his children. The mouth is used to represent the occupations and positions within the Brahmin community. The traditional occupations that exist within this category usually include that of priesthood or some sort of religious teacher that studies and teaches the sacred text of Hinduism. The Brahmins would traditionally lead in the temples and in socio-religious ceremonies such as weddings with Hindu hymns and prayers. Brahmins were allowed to participate in a variety of other occupations as well as priesthood and religious leaders, but they were the only caste that could become a Hindu priest. Many Brahmins became agriculturalists and farmers, while others maintained white-collar jobs. Despite their physical jobs, the most challenging job of the Brahmin community consists of the livelihood of Brahmin members. They are required to demonstrate strict discipline through the voluntary poverty they undergo. Brahmins are required to only earn as much as they suffice at the time and spend the entirety of their earnings on the same day. Not only do their earnings require strict discipline, but their traditional diets require Brahmins to remain firm vegans. The self-discipline and restrictions of the Brahmin caste differ between gender roles. Men are provided more freedom and leeway than the women, but the women of the caste earn a higher degree of education and respect than the other women of the Indian society. As Hinduism religion developed, the Brahmin caste system altered and adapted. Flexibility among the Brahmin caste members became more common and remains present in the modern-day Brahmin caste throughout India. The second category of the Hindu caste system that is ranked under the Brahmins is referred to as the Kshatriyas. The term Kshatriya is derived from the word Kshetra, which translates to power and authority. This power and authority should not be confused with leadership that the Brahmin caste holds, but rather with sovereignty over certain territories. The traditional occupations and positions of the members within the Kshatriya caste consist of warriors during times of war and conflict and governing roles during times of peace. These members are destined to serve their society through the protective qualities and their enforcement of the Hindu law codes. Although they are considered to be an upper caste, they are allowed to eat meat and drink alcoholic beverages, unlike the Brahmins. Like the mythology of the Brahmin origins, the Kshatriya caste origins are depicted in the Rig Veda as well. During the sacrifice of Brahma, the Kshatriya caste emerged from his arms to highlight the roles and duties of the members in this category. The Rig Veda's mythological origins of the Kshatriya caste occurred during the early Vedic period, where the introduction of land ownership was attached to the role of the members in this caste. Today, the Kshatriya caste remains strong in their protection qualities, but allows occupational flexibility for the members. Many of the modern Kshatriyas may serve as law enforcement or military to follow the caste duties, but like with the Brahmins, they may hold other positions to benefit society. The third caste that is ranked under the Kshatriya caste is called the Vasyas. Like the Brahmins and the Kshatriyas, the Vasyas are also depicted in the ancient mythology tale about the Brahma sacrifice. The Rig Veda myth recalls that the Vasya caste emerged from the legs of the sacrificed Brahma. The legs are meant to indicate the occupations and roles of the members of this caste. Traditionally, Vasyas held positions in agriculture where they farmed and attended to cattle, traded throughout the region, and produced substance for the upper castes. The Vasyas are credited with spreading the Indian culture across the regions and into Asia during the earlier time periods due to the trade the caste engaged in. Over time, the traditional jobs have remained, but other positions such as landowners, business owners, and money lenders have been assigned to individuals within the Vasya caste. The members of this community are provided with a wider variety of job occupations to ensure the production of goods and substance within the society. The bottom of the pyramid within the Hindu caste system is assigned to the Shudras. The Shudra caste is the largest of the four and makes up nearly half of the Indian population. The mythology of the Brahma sacrifice suggests that the Shudra caste emerged from his feet to further imply their role in the Hindu society. Both traditionally and in modern-day India, the Shudras are known as the unskilled laborers who may work under the Vasyas to provide the labor for the production. Unlike the three other castes, the Shudras do not claim the twice-born status because they are restricted from participating in the Hindu ritual initiation Upayana. Upayana is the initiatory ritual that permits individual Hindu followers the right to study the sacred texts, the Vedas. Shudras' food habits also do not follow that of the upper caste. The members of the Shudra caste are permitted to eat any type of diet they choose, but, as with all castes, they must only eat with members of their own caste. Some may even continue following a vegetarian diet to align with the nonviolence traditional ideas that are taught throughout India, but most Shudras incorporate meat into their diets. Shudras ultimately are the servants of Indian society, and they work to perform the duties that others refuse to do. Although most of the modern Indian population is assigned to one of the four castes, over 200 million individuals are not. Instead, they are referred to as the untouchables, and they do not even have a reserved spot on the pyramid, implying they do not even have a role in the Hindu society. Individuals within the untouchable community are tainted at birth and deemed impure for the Indian population. This impurity labeled their presence as polluting others they are around and assigned the individuals with occupations that fit the label. When untouchables first emerged into Indian society around 400 CE, they often obtained positions that include working with leather, disposing of dead animals, or sanitation work. During this time, stern restrictions were also assigned to the untouchable population. These restrictions forbid untouchables to enter the temples, learn to read, eat in the same room as any caste member, or live within village boundaries. These restrictions negatively affected the population and has resulted in many cases of extreme poverty and malnutrition of the untouchables over the years. As the caste system has evolved, many of the discriminatory acts against the untouchables have enacted reforms across India. Beginning in the late 1800s, the term Dalit was introduced to refer to the outcast of the Hindu society rather than the previously used term untouchable. The umbrella term embodies anyone who is not of the four other castes. In 1950, the Constitution of India ruled that untouchability is outlawed across the country. Legislation acts have also been implemented by the Indian government to decrease the violence against the Dalit community. In 1989, the Prevention of Atrocities Act, considered the POA, came into force to create corresponding punishments against criminal acts that are defined as shockingly cruel and inhumane. Under the POA, crimes such as forced labor, humiliation, denial of access to water, and others that Dalits endure require corresponding punishments for the suspects. Over time, reforms in India have attempted to decrease the segregated actions against the Dalit members of society. The Hindu caste system is unique to the Indian culture and the lifestyle of the Hindu followers. Many of these people accept this way of life due to the benefits and protection the system instills. Considering the system's origins date back to the ancient civilizations within the Indus River Valley, the preserved traditions that have been passed down for generations encourages individuals to follow through with their known history and traditions. The demonstration of the law of karma and reincarnation inspires the members from each caste to practice good moral conduct and ultimately strengthens their Hindu faith.